So hello everyone and welcome back to Dual Wisdom. I'm your host Switchy, and today we have got with ourselves yet another gaming mice. Now this one, unlike the previous Technic Raptor, is a wireless mice. Now when it comes to gaming mouse, people aren't really that fascinated when it comes to wireless mice, but I just had to get this one to test it out. And when it comes to overall product, the looks of it, it's very similar to the previous Technic Raptor Pro. But today what we've got with ourselves is the Redragon M690. But is it that great again? Maybe not, maybe, we don't know. We're gonna check it out right now, guys. So bear with it, and without any further ado, guys, let's get started right to the action. Right here we've got a gaming mice, and it's one of the budget gaming mice. Let's go. Alright, so here we go. This is a wireless mouse, and it says that it has got 4800 DPI, which is fairly enough because as you might already remember, the previous mice that we unboxed, the Technic Raptor, it had 7000 DPI, and believe me, I haven't never gone past 2500 DPI. You're just not gonna use it. So I believe the 4800 is pretty good and so on. 8 buttons. This is useful now because the more buttons you have and the more they're in the perfect position so as to you can use them, the better it is. And as far as I remember, the buttons on this mice are at the same position as that of the Technic Raptor, which we are going to take a look at in a second now. Then it talks about infrared engine and then 15 meters range, and after that it says that it's got powerful drivers. Now as far as I remember, the buttons on this mouse are programmable, so that's also really nice. High speed, high control, high response. Anyway, let's cut to the chase. There's a lot of information on the back as well. I don't really feel like going into all of this, so yeah, let's just open it right away. This mice comes with a CD, and this CD might have the software required to program the buttons on the mouse. Alright, so here's the CD as we already talked about, and here are the instructions, the quick start guide that talks a bit more about this. And last but not the least, here's the info booklet, which we are never going to read, we all know that. Now first of all, let's take the mice out. Alright, so now this is the mouse, guys. This right here is the USB that's going to go in your PC so that this mouse can work. Now right after I've picked up the mouse, I have noticed a few pros and a few cons. As I said, there's a couple good things about the mouse. Let's talk about those first. Now first things, the feel of the mouse itself. It doesn't feel cheap at all. This looks really well made. The matte finish on top of it is really good to the hands. It feels really nice. Plus the kind of grip that they've given to the thumb, it just slides in there, and it's just perfect. There's literally no complaint about that. But that's just as far as the praise goes. Now let's talk a bit more about what are the cons for this. Now there are a couple. The thing over here is that you don't get any sort of grip for these two fingers. So when you're using the mouse, these two fingers are there in the air. Even the Technic Raptor had some area to place at least this finger. But when you're talking about the ring and the pinky finger, they're just going to lie down like that. So that's not really going to help that much. Over here we see that they have a really clicky sound to them. Another thing that I actually dislike about the mouse is the fact that this mouse doesn't give you any sort of weight changes. So it's just gonna weigh as much it's gonna weigh. I kind of dislike the fact that this mouse is really light. Now I do agree to some extent that yes, when you put in the cell in there, the weight's gonna increase. But it's not going to be the increase that you're gonna want. It's just going to be the increase that you're gonna deal with. Now another thing that I really noticed with this mouse was the fact that the left and the right mouse buttons aren't parallel. They are kind of like at an angle, which I sort of like. Plus I really like this mouse wheel. I have always been a big fan of the mouse wheel, which have the stoppers, you know, that way you always have an idea of how much you have actually scrolled. As you can see over here as well, there is no symmetry at all in the buttons, and it kind of is really good, and I do appreciate that. But because of that, the fact that you don't get any support for the pinky and the ring finger actually does get amplified as well, and it becomes a much greater problem than it actually is, because now they are much more nearer to the ground and there's nothing to support them, and it just feels bad. Over here you get the Redragon logo. Now we don't know if there's light in here or not. We gotta power it on. Here we've got an answer. Here I've brought with me the Mitsubishi AA battery, and this is a wonderful battery, by the way. So yeah, it's already on, as we can see over here. We get 3 options. I don't know if you can see it. One says on, one says off in the middle, and the other one is eco. Adding the cell did add a bit of weight in this, so I'm happy. Oh, what do you know? We get a bit of light. All in all, I think that this is a really decent mouse when it comes to quality. Now, obviously, when we use it on a daily basis, we are going to get a better idea of whether this really is a good mouse or not, whether this is as responsive as the company is saying. But I'm kind of impressed by it. I was having low expectations because I hadn't really heard many good things about Redragon, but you know, I will know more, much more rather, when I begin to use it. If you guys want me to make a follow-up video to this, do let me know. Please do let me know in the comment section below what you thought of this mouse, and whether you have already used this, whether you've bought it and you've been using it. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is actually a good mouse? Do you think there are better options for the same price tag? Do let me know, guys, and yeah, this will be it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching.